Welcome to the Daughter Arise channel. My name is Yvonne and this channel is all about bringing you content about childhood sexual abuse. On this channel I share things to do with my experiences of going through this as a child. I also share with you news stories and add my thoughts and commentary to them, and from time to time I also interview other survivors and their supporters in hopes of raising awareness of the issues surrounding childhood sexual abuse. So if this is the type of content you're looking for, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified of any new uploads. And if you like the content, please hit the thumbs up button, because in doing so you let people know that this type of content is out there. So in today's video I want to talk to you about losing other survivors to suicide. Now this is something that has been really difficult to process for me over the years, because I have known at least 2, maybe 3 people who have taken their lives from going through the direct experience of childhood sexual abuse. So, I think it's important that I talk to you about this, because, it is a reality for so many survivors, and their stories are never heard because, they have lived in silence with what they experienced as a child for so many years. And sometimes before people get to a point of that type of action, it can be a series of things that shows other people around them that it is a cry for help. I have myself, in my earlier years, tried to take my own life. I don't know if they were half-hearted attempts, why I'm still here, but all I can tell you is that when I was going through such intense pain, especially from the age of 13 to about 23, it really just felt like I couldn't make it through. And because of that intense pain, sometimes it would be so overwhelming. I used to think the only way out of it would be to end my life. I had already suffered from depression for so many years. I always had like this feeling of feeling lost, feeling like there was no hope. And those feelings, coupled together with, my experiences of going through childhood sexual abuse, just made me think that death was the only way out. Thankfully for me, I was able to get the help I needed, to start facing some of the deep and painful things that I just couldn't even face, for a very long time. And as I've shared on this channel, my faith in Christ has helped me to be the woman I am today. He saved me from suicide. He saved me from so many different things. And obviously I still had to do the walk and work through so many things that was affecting me. Jesus had his hand on my life, and that is why I'm here today, doing the things that I'm doing, empowering and helping other people who have had similar experiences. So I want to share with you one quick story about somebody I knew, and I'm not going to share lots of details, but I just want to share this with you because it's important to understand that, sexual abuse does have real devastating effects. So I used to work with a lady many years ago. Lovely lady she was, very good at her job, very intelligent. She had a very soft demeanour and was very sensitive to a lot of things. I hit it off with her immediately when she joined my team. There would be times things would happen at work and it would really affect her. And sometimes with the things that she would say, I kind of picked up that she had gone through childhood sexual abuse. I don't know how, but sometimes, in speaking to people over the years, without them even having to say that they've gone through it, I can kind of pick up, just by some of the things that they say. So one time we went to lunch and we got to talk a bit more in depth, because obviously you can't really have those conversations in an office environment. But we went out to lunch, sat down, had a talk. I shared a bit with her about my life, and in doing so, she also shared that she went through sexual abuse as well as a child. And we were able to kind of bond and be open about our experiences. And I think she found it helpful, the fact that obviously that the things that she was experiencing, like myself, were common kind of things that survivors go through. Feeling low, feeling depressed, having mood swings at times. Not all survivors feel like this, But when I was talking to her, I was talking to her about, some of the feelings I could relate to and others that I know had experienced as well. Work continued as usual, but there would be times that things would happen in the office. She would come to me and say, Yvonne, have you got 5 minutes? And I always made time for her. We'd go off to another floor in the office, find a quiet room, and I would just sit there and listen as she talked about some of the things that she was having, troubles with and finding difficult. And there'd be times as well where I would find certain things difficult, and she would also be there for me as well. To work in certain workplaces, you have to deal with a lot of toxic people, a lot of toxic kind of habits, and, being in a toxic environment, when you're somebody who's quite sensitive, I'm talking for myself here as well, it really, really is harmful. But, needs must. And at the time, you think, okay, I need this job because I've got bills to pay, I've got commitments. Until I can get myself out of, this job, then I have to hold on. But she ended up leaving, finding herself a job somewhere else. We weren't really in touch a lot after that, except maybe messages via WhatsApp, from time to time, because her job was really busy, I was really busy, life just goes on. But then probably about a year and a half after she left this job where we worked together, I got a message from somebody else who is also somebody I've gotten really well with in the same organisation, that told me that she killed herself and she was found hanged. And I was really upset. When I was told this news, I was at work. I didn't show my upset at work, but when I got home, over the course of time that followed, it really, really did affect me. I just kept thinking about her vulnerability, about the times where she would cry, the times where she, just felt that she wasn't adequate enough to do certain things. And, I just was really, really upset. I just felt completely overwhelmed and sad that she had done that. And it just really affected me. She was such a nice lady, and I don't know, sometimes when you go through childhood sexual abuse and how it leaves you so vulnerable, sometimes you feel like you need to be wrapped up in bubble wrap. And sometimes when I looked at her, that's what I felt. I felt like she needed to be wrapped up in bubble wrap. Bubble wrap being a metaphor just for, being protected. She didn't leave a note as to why she did it. She did have some family who were completely in the dark as well about why she did it. It made me reflect and think about, how fortunate I was to get through the things that I got through, because it could so easily have been me. From time to time she does cross my mind, and I do think about her, and I wish that there could have been more that I could have done to help her, But I know that in everyone's journey there comes a point and a time where they have to get to a place to push through, and for her, unfortunately, she just felt that she couldn't push through, and it happens, and it's sad. And I know that these things, make God sad as well, because when people go and sexually abuse a child, their disgusting little few minutes of their little act that they inflict upon that child, they never see the aftermath of it. They never see how their decision affected that victim's life, the struggles that they had, the things that they battled with every day, the guilt and shame and all these different things. They never think about that. They just do it and they just don't care. But for those of us who have gone through it, we are the ones that are left with the pieces. We are the ones that are left, to pick up the pieces of our lives. For some of us, we managed to do it. We managed to pick our pieces up and build them into something different. Not the same as before, but we pick them up and build them into something different to enable us to live the life that we want. Other people can't pick up the pieces and they live with the broken pieces of their abuse their entire life. And then for others, they can't pick up the pieces, or they've tried to pick up the pieces of their life, but feel like, none of it is worth it. And I want to encourage any of you out there who has gone through this, you know, suicide attempts, and still feel like your life is not worth anything. I just want to say to you that you're worth more than you think. If you're somebody who's still in this cycle of, you know, wanting to escape the pain basically, and trying to use suicide methods as cries for help, you know, I want to encourage you to talk to somebody. It's not easy to open up about your pain. It's not easy to, you know, pour out the rawness of how you feel inside. And you can only really do that with somebody who you trust, and you definitely can do that with God. I was able to do that with God. That's where I was able to scream out, and I mention this in my book, in my story, Daughter Rise. Scream out to God and ask him for help. And he sent help through various people. He sent help through himself. I hope from this video you can feel encouraged, even in your pain, that, you know, you can make it through, because I'm still here. And, you know, you can check out my other videos about different things about my journey, and I hope that they, you know, help you to navigate your own. So that is it for this video, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.